Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Michelle, and today I thought I would show you how I spent an hour in my little rainbow journal here. So if you don't know about my rainbow journal yet, I decided to make this one really, I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to say tatty, but just a throw together, creating a lot of textures. I'm tearing the pages. I'm adding a whole lot of animals, elements, and I just want to create a really big, chunky, colorful burst of happiness when I open my journal. So I had this little tag that I cut out from Marlene's dies, and I just went over it with a little bit of stenciling with the hexagon star stencil. I popped a little face on it and put a little piece of twine through it, and I then will make a little pocket for it to live in my journal. But first I needed a quote. So once I've got that done, I will call it done. So I didn't do anything on the back of this journal. It was quite a busy pattern. So I thought I would just leave that as is and just have the face on this one. So I'm just outlining a couple of details to pop them out from the background and make them just a little bit more defined. And I'm putting that aside. Then I'm off to the next thing. So normally when I decide to play in this journal, I like to just start by building a bunch of elements. So like embellishment stacks, I guess you could call them. And then I put them in my journal, adding a little bit of paint or stenciling or stamping or whatever. So I had this feather that was lying around, again from Marlene's Paper Elements book, and a strip of off-cut paper, and I just pop them on top of each other, run that through the sewing machine, and I'm just adding a little bit of detail with some extra bright paints just to brighten it up and make it a little bit more interesting. So this journal is a fantastic way to use up scraps. You know, we all have a little container with our unused elements and with little strips of paper that we don't quite know what to do with. Whenever I get new die sets, I do a mass cut session, so I really like to try and put the dies through their paces, and I try and cut different colored papers, glittery paper, white and black, and of course all my neons. And then I just keep it there in my little green container and use it as I need them. But you know, you never finish them. So this to me is just a great way of using up all those little scraps and bits that I don't quite know what to do with. When I look at them, they don't quite inspire me to do something with them, but they are great to add to this journal in particular. So I really love having this little box, and I like adding extra bits to it, although I try not to add too much to it, because otherwise, you know, the box is going to get bigger and bigger and fuller. So I do try and use them as much as possible. I decided this little tag needed a pocket, so again, just a torn piece of paper that I've just cut to size, and I'm going to put that down with a thin strip of double-sided tape, and that'll be a pocket. I decided that I didn't want the background as white as it is, so I'm just going in with some more stenciling. I chose yellow and then some green, and I'm not even cleaning my brush in between. I'm blending the colors together, not the brush, the sponge. I'm blending the colors together with the sponge, and it just creates a little bit of interest in that background. So yellow and green I thought worked well because there was yellow and green in that the little strip of paper that I had for the pocket there. So it all ties together in the end. I am going around the edges just with my archival ink pad just to define those edges a little bit more. And then I'm going to stick it in to the journal. I also really like thinking of this journal as a growing journal, or it keeps evolving. So every time I open it, next time I open it, I might look at this tag there and think, oh, I actually really don't like it there. Maybe I should add something else to the pocket. Maybe I should move the tag. Maybe I should make a whole different tag. Or, I would leave it. For this day, it was fine. I was happy with it. But next time I open it, who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind. So on the tag there, I had some transparency paper or sheets. And I had gessoed previously onto, not gessoed, I stenciled with gesso onto that sheet of transparency. And I let it dry overnight. So I have that also just floating about in my little tub there. And I really like using the transparency sheets here and there because it just adds that little bit of shine and a little unexpectedness. The feather is going to go onto a page. I just tore the page in half, and then I put some lavender and punk together on my paint palette, put a paintbrush through it, and just made little swoops on my page. And then I just stenciled with the lots of dot stencils and finished off with that cute little text stamp from Arlene. And that is a page done. So these pages actually go really, really quickly. They come together so quickly and easily. I really, really enjoy working this way. Often what I also would do is, instead of making embellishments and then putting them into my journal immediately, I would just make a whole bunch of them and have them in my little drawers there in front of me, and then I have them there. Next time I open my journal, I might need a little embellishment stack somewhere, and then I just pop them in. So I like having them ready-made, and then sometimes, like this day, I like to make them and use them as I go. These roses I stamped out previously, and I took it on. My husband and I have a Friday kind of date evening where we sometimes all sit and work, and I will bring some coloring in or some art projects or whatever with me. So I'd colored those in previously beautiful rose sets from Marlene, and I just colored them in, and I thought, well, I have them, so I better use it. And when I got a new foot for my sewing machine, it was like a ruffling foot. I made a whole bunch of ruffles as well just to test it, and this one was floating around. So again, just quickly stapled it into my journal, and it's got a space. It's not floating around on my desk anymore, and it looks really cute. I finished off with a little flowery, starbursty kind of stamp, and then I just colored the centers yellow, and I really actually like how that page came together. I think it was really simple, really quick, and it looks really effective. I think that technique could also work really well as a card. So if you're a card maker, you might want to try and add a little bit of a ruffle and some simple stamping to your next card. The die cuts that I had there, they're all scallops, so I chose to stencil some scallops onto my page and then just stick that down with a quote, and again, literally 2 minutes, and I've got this page done. So in this journal, I'm also not afraid of tearing the pages. I know that sometimes it can be scary to think, oh my gosh, I've paid so much money for this book, now I'm tearing the pages. But the thing is, you have to make your journals work for you. It doesn't help that you have a journal, that you don't know quite what to do with it, you're scared to use it, and then it just sits there and it's not getting used. So I would rather go for it. Just I tear the page and I just make it work. You know, if there's something that I don't like, I might leave it for another day, or I will just keep adding layers, building those layers until it's something that I really like. So this little embellishment stack I had done earlier, it was a color wheel from one of Marlene's paper elements or a sticker book, and I've just put some UV gel over the top, cured it, and now I've got a shiny little embellishment to use on my pages. And the backing paper on that was this blue and green stripy page. So I just extended those lines out onto my page, stapled that stack in, and there you go, another easy peasy one. And this is getting another pocket, because again I had this tag floating around that I had done previously. It's just been sitting around. I haven't had any idea what I was going to do with it. So I thought, well, today's the day. It's going to get a home in this journal. And again, my pockets are really easy to come together. I just put some strips of double-sided paint tape on it. And for this one, I just did a half circle stamp. So it's kind of, it shows that it's a pocket. This piece of paper could have very well ended up in the bin, but I kept it for some reason. I have no idea why, but I'm glad that I did, because it actually looked quite cute on the front of this pocket. I decided that it was getting a little bit busy and stripy, so the circles I'm just painting in with some black paint from Marlene. It's called Pitch in her range. I'm just colouring them in, and then I think I go in with some white dots over the top of them. Yep, there we go, white dots. I love a good black and white dot and a good black and white stripe. So I like to add them all over the show. I don't think I did all that much to the tag. I possibly left it quite bare on the back. Yeah, I didn't do anything on the back because I thought it could actually be quite a nice journaling spot if ever I had the inclination to do so. Oh no, I lie. Sorry, I'm a big fat liar. I went in with Marlene's playing card stencil, and I just stenciled a couple of lines over the top. I guess ideally I could still go in and journal over the top of that, maybe in a nice white pen, but even if I don't, it's also fine. The leftover paint on my palette, I'm just using my sponge to make a little border, and I'm just using the play part of the word playing to put at the back of my tag. And that really is what this journal for me is all about. It's just about playing and having fun and letting loose and creating fun, funky little elements. I've outlined all of those tiny hearts on the collage paper that's on that tag, just to define them a little bit, because I had the playing cards on the back. I thought it would be nice to just highlight the hearts in the front as well. Now I'm just in my little drawer there trying to figure out what I'm going to do, but I didn't use anything. I did, however, go with this bigger dot stencil from Marlene and just stenciled all over the page. So I chose blue, and I think the thinking behind the blue was because I'd used that stripy blue paper with the circles on, so it kind of tied those together. And again, a little outline. I'm just finishing up the stenciling where it wasn't quite done yet, and a little quote to finish it all off. So you can see in just an hour, I think it was like an hour and 10 minutes or 10-15 minutes, I created, I think there was 4 or 5 pages. It went really quickly. It was really good time to just de-stress. It didn't take all that much time. And now when I pace through my little journal, I get happier and happier every time I see that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 6 pages actually. Yeah. I'm just going in and refining a couple of things, adding some black and white lines. That's it for today's session. Thank you so much for being here. Please, if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel. I really love having you guys here. Thank you so much for all the comments that keep coming in. I really, really enjoy hearing from you and knowing that I'm doing this for actual people and not just for robots. And then here are a couple of close-ups, and I will chat to you again very soon. Bye.